WSFA TV 12, Montgomery.
There comes a time in every profession when you need to hang it up. And that time has come for me as head football coach at the University of Alabama. My main purpose as Director of Athletics and head football coach here at the University of Alabama has been to field the best possible teams, to improve each player as a person, and to produce citizens who will be a credit to our present-day society. We have been successful in most of these areas, but now I feel the time is right for change in football leadership. It's been a great joy for me personally to have had the opportunity to coach at my alma mater. I know I will miss coaching, but the thing I'll miss the most is the association I've had with the players, the coaches, the competition, all those things that have made such a strong tradition at Alabama.
Good evening, I'm Bob Howell. It was hard to believe the news from Tuscaloosa this afternoon, news that retired head football coach Paul Bear Bryant was dead. The official word came from a spokeswoman at Druid City Hospital in Tuscaloosa who told us that the Bear had suffered a heart attack shortly after noon. He'd been admitted yesterday evening after complaining of chest pains. Even though he'd had what doctors called a good night and good morning, the heart attack came at about 12:20. The doctors at the hospital did all they could to save Coach Bryant. Dr. William Hill, Coach Bryant's cardiologist, told us a team of 15 doctors and nurses worked for about an hour trying to resuscitate Coach Bryant.
We attempted to we did put in a pacemaker through the chest wall and were able to restore a weak heartbeat temporarily, which subsequently failed.
The doctor had told us that Coach Bryant had been visiting a friend's home last evening when he first felt the chest pains. Paramedics were dispatched and the coach was taken to the hospital's cardiac care unit for treatment. Only hours before his death, the hospital had listed him in stable condition. Phil Snow of our staff has spent the afternoon in Tuscaloosa. He talked with university officials, coaches, and family members. Moments ago, he phoned in this report on the atmosphere on campus.
The sudden death of Coach Bryant took Tuscaloosa by complete surprise. We talked with a number of people in the athletic department this afternoon, many of whom had seen Coach Bryant this morning. Sam Bailey, the associate athletic director, had visited with him. The Bryant family, all of whom are here, had visited with him and left just a few minutes before he suffered the massive heart attack. At a news conference an hour or so ago, Dr. Joab Thomas issued this statement. He said, the entire University of Alabama, the state, and indeed this country agrees that the shocking and terrible loss, it is impossible for me to convey fully what Paul Bear Bryant meant to this institution and to the recent, to recount the innumerable contributions he has made to the thousands of lives who touched him. So I would say that this is a stunned city and state at the passing of Coach Bear Bryant. His successor as head football coach, Ray Perkins, was on a recruiting trip in Charlotte, North Carolina. He is en route home, but Sam Bailey, the associate athletic director, talked to Ray, and he said he felt that Coach Bryant would feel that he should continue the reason for his trip, and so we don't expect Ray Perkins to return to Tuscaloosa until late tonight. This is Phil Snow reporting, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
And perhaps the most poignant response came from people across the state of Alabama. It was incredible to be a witness to the reaction of the news of Bear Bryant's death. One of the first to talk publicly about his passing was Governor George Wallace.
I've lost a personal friend as anyone else in Alabama has who's lost him. He brought more fame and glory to this state in this field and other fields too, of having so much impact on so many people's lives. And he had such a wonderful family. And I would like to extend my sincere sympathy to Mary Harmon and Mae Martin and Paul Jr. and all members of the family, because we've lost someone in Alabama that's really not only a unique individual for Alabama, but a unique individual in the whole world, and especially in this country. And nobody will ever replace Coach Paul Bryant. And I loved him like all Alabamians did, and he brought so much fame and credit to Alabama. And it's just very sad.
And perhaps the most poignant of all, the responses came from the people who held Coach Bryant in such high regard, his fans.
When word of Coach Bryant's death reached the public, practically every television and radio switchboard in the state was flooded with phone calls from people wanting to get more information. WBAM Radio in Montgomery suspended normal programming to let callers express their feelings toward the Bear.
And I'm calling from Eclectic, Alabama, and I'd like to say that all the people here are very sorry to hear about the Bear's death, and I just send out all my sympathy to him and his family.
I just want to, thank God that the state of Alabama could be blessed with a person of that stature and that quality to be associated and to bring along fine football players and make great statesmen out of people that came from the state of Alabama.
It seemed that everyone just wanted to be with someone else, to have someone to talk with. At Montgomery Mall, some shoppers said they didn't want to stay at home, but rather wanted to be around other people to reminisce about Bryant.
Our heart and prayers go out to Miss Bryant. I admired the man, really did. He just set a winning tradition, and it's something that Alabama can be proud of. We were talking about a while ago how many people his life has affected. And I think it's just love and a winning tradition that he's showed, all of us.
People from all over the place knew Bear, and that he helped people of Alabama put Alabama on the map.
Mac Carmack, WSFA TV News.
In addition to the sympathetic gestures by his fans, our editorial tonight will look back on the impact of Coach Bryant as a man and as a coach. Bear Bryant was born September 11, 1913 in Fordyce, Arkansas. He was a big youngster who earned the nickname Bear by wrestling a bear at a county fair. His sports career began there too.
Bear Bryant became a standout for the Fordyce High School Redbugs, playing on both offense and defense. He was recruited by Hank Crisp and came to the University of Alabama, where he was known as the other end because his counterpart on the opposite side of the line was the great Don Hudson. The Bear played on 3 winning teams, including the 1934 squad that beat Stanford 29-13 in the Rose Bowl. After graduation in 1936, Paul Bear Bryant began his coaching career at the university, serving 4 years under Coach Frank Thomas. He left Alabama and went to Vanderbilt for 2 years as an assistant to Red Sanders. After a stint in the Navy, Coach Bryant took the head coach's job at Maryland in 1945. His first Terrapin season went 6-2-1. The next year was the head coach's job at Kentucky, where for the next 8 seasons, he amassed a record of 60 wins, 23 losses, and 5 ties, and 4 bowl appearances. Later in 1954 at Texas A&M, Coach Bryant suffered his first losing season, but turned things around in the next 3 years, winning the Southwest Conference title and producing Heisman Trophy winner John David Crow. Then came the Alabama years, beginning in 1958, when the record books were filled with his accomplishments. 6 national championships, 13 conference championships, and the most wins by any college football coach. His teams produced dozens of outstanding athletes, men who went on to the pro and college coaching ranks. And then there were the superstars who played for the Bear.
What he teaches you on the football field carries over into everyday life. He teaches you to be prepared, to know you're prepared for the job.
I probably wouldn't have been a professional football player if it hadn't been for Coach Bryant, because he kicked me in the pants when I needed to be kicked in the pants.
Perhaps the highlight of everyone's memory of Bear Bryant's career came on November 27, 1981, when he broke Amos Alonzo Stagg's record for the most victories by a college coach. Here's how the coach reacted to victory number 315 over Auburn.
It was all eyes and cameras on the Bear in Birmingham today as he sought the victory that would make him the winningest coach in college football history. The event attracted a phenomenally large press corps, former Bama football players and staff members, nationwide live television coverage, and a capacity crowd at Legion Field. But the Bears' typical approach to the emotions of the game didn't appear on the surface to have changed. As he led his team to victory, it appeared to be just another game, until he admitted otherwise after the game.
And the second half there for a while, I felt like I didn't know what we were going to have to do to win the game. I thought we could win at the half.
The game was between Auburn and Alabama, not the Bear and Amos Alonzo Stagg, whose record he surpassed with the win. But the record did leave Bryant with a feeling of relief.
But only the last 3 or 4 days, as it really, or last week, as it really dawned on me that there were so many people. I always knew there was many people involved, but it just not dawned on me. They let me know, the people that were involved, that had contributed to it, that they expected it to be done, and since I was supposed to be their leader, it better be done. So actually, it's a big relief off me tonight, because a lot of them were here from all the schools that I've ever been at.
During the post-game news conference, Bryant got a chance to see Auburn coach Pat Dye and exchange some personal reflections. Right about now, Bryant says he wants to be sitting at home watching the replay of the game just to make sure they really did win and eat some milk and bread and an onion.
Then came the news from Coach Bryant that he was retiring, giving up the coaching career. But there would be one last game, one last time that his players could carry the coach on their shoulders in a victorious procession at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee, after whipping a scrappy team from the University of Illinois.
It wasn't until Illinois quarterback Chris Jenner fired this interception into the arms of linebacker Robbie Jones in the waning moments of the Liberty Bowl that Alabama faithful were convinced that Coach Bear Bryant would end his 38-year career on a winning note. And as the clock ticked down the final seconds for the 21-15 Crimson Tide win, the almost unbelievable notion that Bryant would never again walk the sidelines as a college coach became reality. Needless to say, there were many that were touched by the occasion.
All I can say, Coach, is best of luck, and we're going to miss you in the coaching profession, and I feel honored that I was able to be the guy that played against you in your last game.
Coach Bryant meant the world to me. He's meant more to me than anything in this world, and I've learned more than him in 4 years, I guess, and I learned all my life. And for him to go out the same game I went out, words can't describe it.
That's what we came out here to do. We came out here to the Liberty Bowl to win this one for Coach Bryant, and it's just a gift to him from us.
You know, this is going to be something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, and playing for Coach Bryant has been something special. You know, he taught me a lot of things. Me and the team, everybody else, he taught us how to be men and be better persons and being a better character overall, everything, you know.
I'm very satisfied that we won the game for him, that he didn't go out losing. But football's not going to be the same. There's going to be a big empty spot in the sport now because he was the game as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for being so nice to me over the years. All of you that I know down our way where I don't have anything better to do. Stop and break bread with me because I'll have a lot of time, I think, now on my hands.
How does your fabric softener smell?
Ah, nice. Ah, nothing.
Introducing new Unscented Bounce.
Unscented Bounce doesn't leave a scent on my clothes. That I love. Regular Bounce gives me the long-lasting freshness I love.
Now there are two kinds of Bounce.
Both control static clean, while both leave your clothes soft and fluffy.
Regular or new Unscented Bounce for...
Ah, nice.
Or...
Ah, nothing.
Courtesy Ford's low 11.9% rate on new Fords has overstocked both used car lots. This inventory must be drastically reduced before February. So now through Monday, we're offering 11.9% financing on all our used cars and trucks, and on our newly arrived Ford Motor Company executive cars. All like new and loaded with options. We've got the best used car and truck selection at the lowest rate in the USA. New or used car or truck, Courtesy Ford has them all at a low 11.9% rate. Courtesy Ford, downtown and on the Eastern Bypass.
Some folks say the West and what it stands for is just about gone. But we're the beef people, and we're still here.
Bringing back the strays in the winter months and moving the herd to the best pastures in the spring. And working all night when you have to.
And when it's done, we expect the best.
WD brand beef. Naturally aged and delicious. Always U.S. choice quality beef. Uncompromised.
We're the beef people. Spirit, tradition, the best. Winn-Dixie.
Tonight, a U.S. Civil Rights Commission advisory committee has decided to begin an investigation into allegations of police brutality and the general conditions between the Montgomery Police Department and the black community. Norman Lumpkin says the probe is expected to begin sometime within the next few weeks.
The committee's decision came after a report from committee chairperson Abigail Turner on her findings after a preliminary hearing on the allegations.
One person there
reported that in his view beatings of black suspects had increased in the past year. A number of the people at the meeting had complained to the police department about abuses they had seen or heard about, and they said that they had not gotten results from their complaints.
Then Montgomery City Councilman Donald Watkins urged the committee to look into the charges.
It is hard to promote respect for law and order, respect for police officers, when you have to constantly investigate and constantly disclose the abuse of just fundamental civil rights of persons. And if we don't look at it, and if we don't expose whatever is there, the good as well as the bad, it will probably have irreparable consequences on young people who are growing up. And even more seriously than that, you have a lot of good police officers, and a lot of this stuff I could not get access to if there were not good police officers, who want this kind of problem looked into, and who want a good, clean police department in Montgomery.
The Civil Rights Commissioners say a full report on their findings here in Montgomery is expected to be made public this summer. This is Norman Lumpkin, WSFA TV News reporting.
Alabama death row inmate Johnny Harris was at the Montgomery County Courthouse today for arguments on motions before his retrial for killing a prison guard in 1974.
Harris has been on death row for 8 years, since the prison uprising at Holman in 1974 and his conviction for killing a guard. Harris was convicted under a seldom used 1862 statute that orders the death penalty for anyone convicted of murder while serving a life sentence. Harris was serving 5 life sentences for robbery and rape from Jefferson County. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, however, overturned the conviction and ordered a new trial. Harris's attorneys argued today that there was no evidence in the original trial that Harris actually stabbed the guard, or that if he did, it was premeditated. Harris's lawyers say their client was convicted on circumstantial evidence surrounding Harris's involvement with the prison uprising. Today, the defense presented dozens of pretrial motions in connection with the upcoming May murder trial. Gina Gregory, WSFA TV News.
Coming up, Governor George Wallace' package of legislation gets committee approval.
The results are in. Honda was #1 in import sales in Montgomery and Central Alabama in 1982. To stay #1, McConnell Honda is having a special sale, and you choose your own saving plan. #1, free air conditioning, or #2, 11.9% financing, or #3, no payment till May. That's right, free air, 11.9% financing, or no payment till May. The sale is going on now at just one place, McConnell Honda on South Boulevard.
See you later, Mac.
Hi, Mac.
Hello, Mac.
Everyone around here knows you, Mac.
Well, when you've been a Farm Bureau agent as long as I have, you'll know all the people on this street. Most of them come to Farm Bureau for their insurance, like Alice. Farm Bureau insures her shop. Marv at the hardware store has life insurance to protect his family.
Good morning, Mac. I'm coming by next week to increase our homeowners coverage.
It's a good feeling to be part of the neighborhood.
At Farm Bureau Insurance, that's our policy for you.
Soap? Nope.
When you discover the cleaner, feeling of zest, you're gonna be feeling your best.
Zest is different from soap.
In water, you can see the tacky film soap leaves even after rinsing. Zest doesn't. Deodorant Zest is specially made to rinse without leaving sticky film.
Nothing comes between me and feeling so clean. I feel my best.
Discover the cleaner, feeling of zest. You're gonna be feeling your best.
I'm feeling my best.
Governor George Wallace's package of bills to help the ailing general fund budget passed the money committees of both houses of the state legislature today. The centerpiece of the governor's package, a bill to increase gas and oil severance taxes, was the only bill to face any opposition.
The efforts of oil companies to block passage of the gas severance tax increase bill stepped up today. The Alabama Petroleum Council today indicated some of its members perceived the increase as punishment for the unsuccessful effort to negotiate a settlement between the Wallace administration and oil companies over a lawsuit tying up some $30 million in contested severance taxes. And executives of major oil producers like Exxon and Mobil Oil showed up in committee meetings today. Those executives warned the higher tax may be the increased cost that would make oil exploration and production in Alabama unprofitable. This, they say, would cut off millions of dollars a year in taxes that would be generated in the future. During the committee meetings, representatives and senators from the Mobile area, representing some of the state's largest oil fields, stood with the oil companies in opposition to the higher tax. But sponsors of the bill say the increase isn't large enough to deter production and won't trickle down to increased gas prices at the local service station. Those proponents also contend the large oil companies receive a number of federal tax breaks that balance out the proposed increase. The tax increase bills, though, passed both of the money committees. The other 4 bills in the governor's package moved without problem, and the entire package will be up for House and Senate floor debate tomorrow. Some of the hottest debate, though, today squared off legislators against themselves and the House and Senate leadership. The issue, reapportionment. Dennis Latham has more.
Wallace administration floor leaders worked to block the plan to redraw Senate and House districts. The matter was carried over in the House Judiciary Committee, but the Senate Governmental Affairs Committee plunged headlong into a public hearing on the bill. Joining the Senate committee was Representative Charles Langford, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. Of major concern was the recent intervention of a group of West Alabama blacks who don't like the committee's plan as it relates to Selma and Dallas County. Albert Turner told the committee he didn't like the city of Selma not being in a majority black district. He also said the district, including Selma, is too large. J.L. Chestnut says whatever the legislature passes, his group will insist that new elections be held for House and Senate seats this year. The public hearing continues Thursday to give committee members more time to learn the details of the latest opposition to the remapping plan. Once in session, Wallace floor leader Earl Goodwin of Selma went to the mic and asked members of the upper chamber to concentrate on the governor's general fund bailout package. A spokesman for the governor says if the legislature completes the package in a 5-day session, then Governor Wallace will call the lawmakers back to town on Monday to consider reapportionment legislation. Dennis Latham, WSFA TV News at the Capitol.
Coming up, Rich Thomas will tell you how to dress for tomorrow's weather.
Hello, I'm Bob Barker. If you're between the ages of 45 and 75, could I take just a moment of your time? Most of us work hard all of our lives to make our savings worth something. And the last thing we'd ever want is for our death, or the death of our spouse, to deplete or even wipe out our savings. Since life insurance can become so expensive or even impossible to get as we get older, a lot of folks just can't afford the life insurance they need. That's why the National Alliance of Senior Citizens, a nonprofit organization, is now sponsoring a group life insurance plan specifically for people 45 to 75. But this plan is unique in several very important ways. First, you can't be turned down or canceled on the basis of your health. Second, neither your current health nor your future health will have any bearing on the premium rate you'll pay. Third, your premium will never go up. Fourth, this policy builds cash values you can withdraw should you ever need them. And most important, instead of paying interest rates of 3 to 5% like most other whole life policies, this policy pays current high interest rates. Right now, it's paying 12%. So you have the comfort of knowing that even your life insurance is earning interest at today's high rates. Best of all, you can get this coverage for only $5 a month. We'd like to mail you this free information kit telling you all about this high-interest life insurance for people 45 to 75. Here's how to get it.
Call toll-free 1-800-228-1500. 1-800-228-1500. The information kit that Mr. Barker spoke of will be mailed to you free with no obligation. That's 1-800-228-1500. 1-800-228-1500. Operators are standing by. This is a free call.
Well, in central Alabama, woke up this morning, was absolutely gorgeous.
It was kind of frosty, but very, very nice.
Real nice.
And did you notice how quick the weather changed today? The clouds moved in very rapidly, and before you knew it, there was rain falling on the windshields. This is a rapidly moving in weather system from the lower Mississippi Valley, 2 centers of low pressure to the west of Alabama. Rainfall is now extensive across the state and will continue so tonight. And as quickly as the rain came, it will leave. Tomorrow there could be some showers left over early in the morning, but we should have some sunshine by sometime during the afternoon, and we're still looking for a weekend warming trend. Now, as this low-pressure system moves into Alabama tonight, it will also pull cooler air back behind it, clockwise winds around the low-pressure area. When that happens, some of the rain in North Alabama could briefly be mixed with some snow. However, if you're traveling to North Alabama tomorrow, do not expect any travel problems because the temperatures will remain above freezing. We're not expecting a repeat performance of last week. Otherwise, just rain over South Alabama. Some of that could be heavy later on tonight. Around the nation at 2 p.m. today, temperatures range from 73 at Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to 9 below zero at Minot, North Dakota. And the satellite view of today's weather will indicate some serious problems in California. Winds now at the Golden Gate Bridge reported at about 80 miles per hour. Rainfall heavy over central and northern portions of that state. Mudslides possible tonight, and up to 2 to 3 feet of snow possible in the Tahoe Basin. This is a biggie, and it's still 300 miles out in the ocean. Another band of heavy snow moved from Kansas into Missouri and Iowa during the day. Some places had as much as 6 inches. Another band of snow from Indiana into New York State, and here's that developing Gulf weather system we've been talking about. Our color radar tonight is scanning from Montgomery, and we're showing lots of rain tonight, mostly on the light side. That would be the green color, but you can see some embedded heavier showers over the south-central portion of the state, and over in Mississippi there's some thunderstorms that are locally heavy. Those could move across the southern counties tonight. Now, all this activity is moving to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. 6 p.m. temperatures around the state, mostly in the 40s. The warm spot right now is Enterprise at 53 degrees. The cool spot, well, 46 at several locations, and 45 at Andalusia appears to be the coldest temperature. At 6 p.m. at Montgomery's Danley Field, light rain falling, temperature 9 Celsius, that's 48 Fahrenheit. Today's high in Montgomery made it up to 54. This morning's low 29. Winds northeast at 6, humidity 83%, a falling barometer, 0.02 of an inch of rain so far. At 6 this morning, Lake Martin down 0.4 from yesterday, no change in Lake Jordan's level. Sunrise tomorrow 6:43, setting at 5:14. Tonight, periods of rain, they're giving us a 90% chance. Variable winds around 10. Northerly after midnight, lows tonight should be in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, decreasing clouds by afternoon, a chance of a shower in the morning, 20% in the morning. Northerly winds 10 to 15, highs in the upper 40s. Thursday night, fair skies. Kind of chilly, though. Lows should be in the mid-30s. But we'll begin a warm-up on Friday, partly cloudy, warmer highs in the mid-50s. And they're talking about 60-degree readings for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's it, Bob.
Thanks, Rich. We'll be back in a moment. When we do, editorial director Bob Ingram will have some comments on the death of Bear Bryant.
These are two of the most important cards in America to anyone age 65 or over. Medicare and Secure Care 65. Hi, I'm Lorne Green. Now, Medicare is important because it pays all your reasonable hospital charges except $304 during the first 60 days. Except $76 a day for the next 30 days. Except $152 a day for the next 60 days. For a lengthy hospital stay of 150 days, Medicare pays all your hospital charges except, can you believe it? $11,704. Oh yes, the Secure Care card. What makes it so important? Well, Secure Care pays the $11,704 that Medicare does not. Plus, it helps pay Part B expenses as well. Doctor, medical, and surgical bills, in or out of the hospital. The 20% not paid by Medicare. This is Medicare's supplement protection from National Home Life. That's what makes Secure Care 65 so important. That's why I carry it. Let me send you this free information package telling you all about Secure Care 65. You'll also find out how to get this handsome 2-card carrying case, all free, with no obligation. Now, add up the figures for yourself. I'm sure you'll agree that none of us can afford to be without Medicare or Secure Care 65. Here's how to get your free package.
If you're 65 or over and on Medicare, call 1-800-453-9009 or write to Secure Care, Valley Forge, PA 19493. The information is free and so is the call. Just dial 1-800-453-9009.
Funeral services for Coach Bryant are scheduled for Tuscaloosa Friday morning with burial later in the day in Birmingham. Tonight at 10:30, we'll have a special tribute to Coach Paul Bear Bryant. But tonight, as we leave you, editorial director Bob Ingram has some comments on Alabama's head coach.
Paul William Bryant, the Bear, dead at 69. Our first reaction, like yours, it had to be a mistake. This was not the way it was supposed to be. His retirement a few weeks ago we could understand and accept. He had earned the right to take it easy, had he ever. But to be taken by death so soon after his retirement was something we simply hadn't considered. We wouldn't question the officiating, we only wished that it hadn't been called that way. In the days ahead, much will be made of his record as a coach, the winningest coach in history, the national championships and the conference championships he won, the great victories. But as remarkable as those achievements were, a far greater one was the influence he had on the thousands of young men he coached. He took fuzzy-cheeked kids fresh out of high school and made men out of them. He made good men out of them. That's Paul Bryant's greatest legacy. That's the part of the Paul Bryant legend that will live on long after the memories of gridiron victories have faded. In his death, Bear Bryant has done something he could never have done in life. His death has caused all of us to forget our football loyalties. Tonight, we're all one. We all share the common denominator of sadness, of grief, over the loss of a very special man, of a great man. There's a tear in the eye of the red elephant tonight, but there's also a tear in the eye of the war eagle. This we know, we all know. There will never, ever be another Bear. That's the way we see it tonight.
Mine in Jefferson County and the Blue Creek mines, number 5 and 7 in Tuscaloosa County, are the ones that are affected. He said the firm needs to reduce its stockpiles of coal. And that's it for tonight's 6 o'clock report. Thanks for watching. Mac Carmack will anchor tonight at 10 a story of Martin Luther King III visiting in the city of Tuskegee. In the meantime, stay tuned for tonight's edition of PM Magazine with Rich Thomas and Sidney Kohara. It's next on TV 12.
Tonight on PM Magazine, we'll see how 50 lucky people win the Sun for a song.
Then we'll visit one of the smallest mom-and-pop breweries in America and meet the feisty owners.
Hi, I'm Chef Kelly. There's 2 ways to cook cod, and there's nothing fishy about it. I see you in a while.
And on PM's America, I'll introduce you to a Utah doctor who has a drive-in office. Hello again from Epcot Center. I'm Sidney Kohara.
And I'm Rich Thomas, and we're in the United Kingdom. Well, really Epcot Center's version of the United Kingdom for Wednesday's PM Magazine.
This is Tudor Lane at Epcot's United